So Teresa, you came to us earlier on this year with a great idea to have a PJs and popcorn. It was like a party. Tell us a bit more about that event and where the idea came from.
We had so much fun. It was actually Carla's idea, I believe, to do this. We picked up 65 pairs of brand new pajamas with the promise and fulfilled additional to amount to 200. When we have someone come in into our shelter, they come in 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Some of them come in with no shoes on. They come literally with the clothes that they're wearing. They may not even have their handbags when they come in. So when we picked up the donations from you guys, now our clients come in, they can get a shower, they can put on a fresh pair of pajamas that nobody's ever worn and go to bed and get some rest, maybe for the first time safely in months or even years. So having the donations that you guys provide for us, it makes them feel like somebody cared about me enough to make this effort and make this donation. So we're just very appreciative of that night and all you guys continue to do for us.
And we had some great fun doing it as well.
We did.
We got some people in their PJs watching a movie,
yes,
eating popcorn, people in the office,
yes,
people at home. We even had one crew that was camping and did it in the tent. It was fantastic.
I love that.
Now when I first heard about that, I thought 200 sounded like a big volume of pajamas. And then you shared with me some of your statistics here that just kind of nearly made that insignificant in terms of the work you do and the number of people you help. Tell us a little bit more about some of the volume of services you provide.
Well, we provide emergency safe shelter. When a client comes in, they're with us for 30 days, and during that time they're getting case management to help with job referrals, housing, counseling, education. A lot of times they need help getting an ID, so we make sure that they have state-issued IDs. They leave with nothing. They don't have birth certificates for their children, so our case managers work diligently to make sure that all the important papers that we take for granted that are just in the file cabinet at home, that they have those with them. And when they leave our shelter, we provide ongoing counseling and case management. Even if they don't utilize our housing program, they still need services. They still deserve that support to help them create a life of independence and live a life that's filled with passion and joy and not fear and dread.
And you were telling me a little bit earlier about that generation cycle.
Yes.
That we start to see. Tell me a little bit more about that, the education you provide to try and sort of break that cycle, that ongoing cycle.
So one component that we have coming into shelter with our children, the first thing we do is teach them how to do a safety plan. If you're in a situation that you're not safe, what can you do? And then we kind of backtrack from that and teach them ways of not stepping into those positions themselves with their siblings, with other children in the shelter. These kids come in and this is all they've seen. We cannot expect these kids to come in here and not be violent, not yell, not hit, not take toys. And so we're teaching them, we're modeling for them more than teaching them. We don't do child classes per se, but we have a counseling team that works really closely with us, and we as staff model for the kids what that looks like to be able to share and use words that are kind and gentle and non-threatening. Some of these kids have never heard that. So that's really important to us, and I believe that when we're taking care of the kids in our shelter, it looks different when they leave, even more so than our adult clients. They'll see something different.
Yeah, I can believe that. And hopefully it helps that, you know, the next generation and the next generation.
Well, and it is generational, and so every piece that you take that component away from, it may be 2 or 3 generations down the road before we see a complete break in that violent cycle. But it's more than we would have had these children had the education that they deserve to live a better life.
Absolutely, what a great change. And one of the things my team share with me, having participated and worked with Brighter Tomorrows, is it is that education of my team and my team's children, because this is something that doesn't regularly get talked about. And in some schools it's not a topic that people bring up. So I think it's been, you know, a really good education exercise, obviously for the people that use the shelter, but also for our teams of getting involved.
Well, we appreciate you guys being open to getting the education about it. I think that's key. A lot of members of the community don't want to hear about domestic violence. They don't want to hear about abuse. It's something none of us want to think about. I don't like thinking about it, but it is the reality. And right now, you know, we've got 5 people in this room, and statistics tell us 2 of the people in this room have been abused or have been in an intimate partner abusive relationship.
Yeah, frightening.
It is. And so when we think this doesn't affect us, this doesn't touch us, that's simply not true. You just don't know. But you do know somebody who's been impacted by domestic violence or sexual assault.
And tell us, Teresa, a little bit about the shelter that we're in today. So we've got our ActiveOps team here. where you can probably hear them in the background clattering away. They're making beds,
yes,
and they're doing some painting and tidying up. Tell us a little bit about this shelter.
Okay, so we have 2 locations. We are one shelter with 2 locations is the way we like to look at it. The location that we're in right now, we have your team, thank you ActiveOps, is coming in and putting together brand new beds, dressers, nightstands, desks, chairs, so that our clients are truly in a home away from home, and it's not the institutional feeling that a lot of shelters, unfortunately no fault of theirs, have. But we can do something different, and we've chosen to do something different here. Right now in this shelter, we're at about 65% capacity. We tried to kind of pare down to get prepared for today, because it's very traumatic for our clients when we have even people like you guys who come in and want to help us, and thank goodness we have you. It can be a triggering situation for a client, even for me to bring a maintenance person in here. So we've pared down just to go ahead and have today. Tonight the calls will start coming in, and this shelter will be at 100% capacity within 24 hours. Oh, and wow. we will be turning clients away and referring to other shelters within 24 hours.
Wow.
And that's just the reality.
In a strange way, it's just so impressive what you do here, and it's a shame in this world these things have to be provided, but the work you do is just so valuable. So thank you from ActiveOps for having us involved, and thank you from our communities. I live locally, and it's just an amazing service that you, your staff and your volunteers provide. Thank you.
Well, we couldn't do it without community members and partners like you guys, I promise you that. So thank you.
So Teresa, we've got people here from ActiveOps helping today. If there's other people listening, how can they help you, and what Brighter Tomorrows are doing?
Well, we have a lot of opportunities for people that want to volunteer. We have an administration building that we always need help in. We have 2 resale shops, one in DeSoto, one in Grand Prairie, that need volunteers all the time, and donations. We rely on the sales of those donations to support our mission and support the shelters and the agency. So if they have nice donations, if they want to drop off to either one of our locations, they're very much appreciated. The way that resale shops work, if they see items that our shelters need first before it's resold, they'll get in contact with me or one of the shelter managers and say, hey, we have this, do you guys need it? So anything that a community member wants to do as far as donations, if they want to make a monetary donation, they can go to our website at brightertomorrows.net and make a monetary donation. Obviously everybody knows that money it fits everyone. And we do rely on private donations and some government grants. So anything and everything is just very much appreciated.
Well, hopefully some people listening today can help out. Certainly ActiveOps, we'll continue to support Brighter Tomorrows, and we thank you again for having us help.
Thank you, Spencer.